Well, they can apply either by visiting a Social Security office and requesting a form SSA 1020, paper form. They can call our national toll-free 800 number, which is 1-800-772-1213, or the most convenient way to do it, and maybe the fastest way, is to go online. If you don't have a computer, maybe your neighbor or a child or grandchild has a computer, but you can go to our website and click on the link called Extra Financial Help for Medicare Prescription Drug Plan Costs, and it'll take you right through the application, one screen at a time. And the nice thing about doing it online is that as you're filling it out, as you advance the screens, it doesn't let you go to the next screen unless you've filled out everything properly on the screen that you're on. So it's kind of a way to not make a mistake by the time you get finished. And then also it gets sent in immediately when you are finished and you click enter. So
it's a way of making sure that what you're doing is accurate.
Yep.
So I might also add, Jim, that public libraries have computers that are available to the public and are actually in quite a demand, as I know.
Yeah, I just used the one at my library the other day. I had some time to wait at a doctor appointment for my wife, so I went into the library, and you're right, it worked fine.
Very good. Now let's talk about the monthly payment of Social Security. In 2010, what happened to the COLA increase? You might want to comment on what COLA is, first of all.
Yeah, ever since the mid-70s, Congress has required that everyone on Social Security get an annual cost of living adjustment, which is computed based on the rate of inflation, the Consumer Price Index for urban wage earners. And as it happens, ever since the mid-70s, there's always been an increase. Inflation has always sort of crept up anywhere from about 14% all the way to 1%. Well, from last year to this year, when they computed the cost of living adjustment, there was actually was a decrease. So inflation didn't go up, and so for the first time, people on Social Security did not get that annual cost of living adjustment, the automatic cost of living adjustment.
So, and as I recall too, the 2009 COLA was a little bit higher than actual results as the year played out.
Yeah, I mean, when you look at the COLAs over time, you know, they go up and down, and 09 was, I think, a little over 5%. So that was one of the highest ones in recent memory.
Yeah. Now, I might point out the general cost of living figure may not apply to your particular situation. For example, most people who are retired, will not have a clothing or a uniform expense that people who are still working might have, or have as great of car expense if they're not going to work every day or not commuting a great distance. Still driving and all that, but the general guidelines may or may not apply to you. But
I should also mention that for people who were on Social Security and Medicare last year, even though the Medicare premium for Part B went up, there is what they call a hold harmless provision in the law that says that even though the Social Security cost of living adjustment didn't raise someone's Social Security, that a person doesn't suffer a net decrease because the Medicare premium happened to go up when there was no cost of living adjustment. People who were on Social Security and Medicare last year would just stay the same. Their Medicare would be held at that level.
I want to follow it up just a little bit. What deductions are taking out of the Social Security check?
Well, if a person is on Social Security and Medicare, for most people, there's Part B Medicare, which pays the Part B, as in Baker, pays for doctor expenses, and that premium is about $96 a year, and typically people have that coming out of their Social Security check. And then also people have the option, if they want to have their Medicare prescription drug insurance premium, they can have that deducted from Social Security as well, or they can just send the insurance company a check every month for that.
And the Part D expenses can vary widely because there are over 100 companies in Minnesota who are authorized on Part D.
Yeah, I wasn't sure of the number, but I know, yeah,
I think it's 107.
Okay, yeah. People, if you're on Medicare and if you need to consider changing your prescription drug plan, there's at Medicare.gov there's a plan finding tool. It's like a calculator on the Medicare website that allows you to find the best plan for you. So that's at Medicare.gov.
Yeah, and they have a certain enrollment period which has passed for 2010. We're at the beginning of 2010, or very near the beginning, and that's always at the end of the year.
Right, November 15th through December 31st right. For the Medicare Part D, yes.
But if there's I want to go back to this deductions. You're receiving Social Security, there's a Medicare deduction and a Part B deduction, but the Part D deduction especially could change considerably what amount you receive. So could there be a net decrease because of something that's beyond Social Security, namely the private Part D?
Well, right. People who would like to, people with Medicare who would like to have a Medicare prescription drug insurance plan have, as you mentioned, a wide array of choices, and the cost for these different Medicare prescription drug plans, which can come out of your Social Security on a monthly basis, can vary a lot.
Yeah.
So someone could have a high premium or not as high premium. So that could be all over the board, I guess.
Yeah, my own case on the Part D, I kept the same company, but I changed policies, and it involved several $100s a year savings.
Beautiful.
So and I got it by going. I called the senior linkage line, which is part of the Minnesota Board of Aging. And,
excellent.
They were able to navigate through the choices for me. And,
excellent. Glad to hear that.
Came up with 2 or 3 recommendations.
Yeah, the linkage line is great. They're very supportive, and we work together a lot.
Yeah. So all these deductions, and people may or may not see their Social Security check due to having it deposited in the bank rather than being mailed. Why is it a good idea to have automatic deposit?
Well, there's a pretty high rate of people with direct deposit here in Minnesota, and that's a good thing, because then you don't have to worry about a paper check getting lost in the mail, or maybe if you took it out of the mailbox and put it on the kitchen counter and then some papers got put over it. I mean, lots of things can happen to paper checks that don't happen if you have the money electronically deposited in a bank account.
Yeah. Even just driving to the bank, it may be a snowstorm, or maybe rain and ice, it may be cold, you just don't want to get out of the house, but you need the money in the bank to cover some checks. And so it's very easy with direct deposit.
We very much encourage people to have their Social Security or SSI direct deposit.